Namaste everyone, my name is Yamini and welcome to my channel Lavi Satvik, where I share wellness videos inspired by yoga, Ayurveda, and always with the purpose of leading a more sattvic or balanced life. Firstly, happy 2024. Wish you great health and happiness this year. Today's topic is Ayurvedic wellness tips for winter season, or as we call it in Ayurveda, the KAPHA time. Now, I'm just coming back from a tropical country, so it's very strange to come into winter from winter in a tropical country to winter in Europe. Yes, winter means different temperatures in different parts of the world, but what winter has in common across the globe is that it is a time where you have more of the elements of water and air. That is, the kapha and the vata are higher than the pitta or the fire element. In some parts of the world, like in Nordic countries or Canada, you really almost have no pitta. You don't even see the sun. In some parts of the world, like maybe in the tropics, you might still see the sun, but the temperatures go down and you might have some cloudy days. So you still feel that there is more kapha, that is water, or more vata, that is air, than pitta, fire. So now that we have a definition of what winter means, let's talk about what that means to us, right? And why should we care about the winter season? Well, in winter, as we said, the kapha and the vata are high. That means it's cold, it's dry, you feel calmer, more peaceful, things go at a more slower pace. There is less heat, there is less agitation, there is less movement. But at the same time, it also means that we feel drier, we feel colder, we feel more lethargic, we find ourselves a little bit slow. So how can we find balance in the winter season, or why should we find balance in the winter season? In the modern world, we live very disconnected from nature. We have ways to control the temperature where we live. We have ways to find any food we want at any time of the year. And the more disconnected we are from nature, the less peace we can find in our lives. So according to me, and also inspired by Ayurveda and yogic teachings, the more closer or the more connected you get to nature and the more aligned you are with its seasons and cycles, you will find more peace and content and be content in your life. So I call this method of living cyclic living. Well, it has always been lived by our ancestors, by our grandparents, without giving this name, cyclic living. But what cyclic living essentially means is understanding the different cycles in nature. For example, you have the sun cycle, which is the day, and then you have the moon cycle, which is the month. You have the seasonality cycle, like winter right now. And finally, you also have your own breath cycle. So how can we really understand the essence of all these different cycles and then be more connected and aligned with these? This is called cyclic living. So let's look at the cycle that we're talking about today, which is the winter season. Now, in this cycle, three things happen. Because of the excess of kapha and vata, or water and wind energies, and the decreased pitta or fire energy, we see that one, we start to sleep in excess. So we feel more lethargic, we want to sleep in, we don't really feel motivated to wake up. I'm sure that has happened to all of you as soon as the weather gets a little gray or cold. The second thing that happens is our immunity goes lower because our digestion is slower. And you can see that in winter season, there will be viruses circulating and you feel you tend to get colds and fevers more often. And the third thing that happens is that we tend to move less. Well, this is not so bad, because if you move less, you can reflect more, you can journal more, you can be more calm, peaceful, you can meditate. Movement is also needed in order to create fire within you. Because in the season we don't have external sources to generate fire, like you don't see the sun as much as you would in summer, we need to find ways to generate this heat inside. So to counter these three things, we need to have ways in winter to sleep less, which is wake up early. It does not mean that you're not getting enough sleep. It means that you're sleeping enough, but you're making an effort to wake up early and not have excess of sleep. Sleep just enough. The second is we must try to find ways to increase our immunity and fasten our digestion. And the third is that we need to find ways to keep moving and generating internal heat. So what are the top Ayurvedic tips to do these things? So let's start with sleeping just enough and not excess. So the first Ayurvedic tip for winter is that you must wake up early. I know this is counterintuitive. We want to sleep in winter as soon as the weather gets colder, but it's really essential to wake up before sunrise if possible and start your day with movement. What can help you is to really be disciplined and have a program that will help you slowly improve the timings at which you wake up, the timing at which you sleep, because waking up early means like you need to sleep early. And do this step by step, not go extreme. The second thing that will help you is setting morning and evening rituals. The more you have certain rituals that allow you to wake up with motivation, with drive, with purpose, with energy, and the more you have evening rituals that help you to shut down, the more your brain will help you naturally wake up early and sleep early. So work on morning and evening rituals. Now the next thing is, how do you increase your immunity and fasten your digestion? In winter, what happens is our digestive fire, or Agni as we call it in Ayurveda, gets low. That means it takes you longer to digest food. One of the biggest mistakes in winter is to eat cold foods. Since our digestive fire is already low, if we eat cold foods, it becomes even harder for us to digest this food. So please, the most important tip for winter wellness is move to warm foods. Start your day with warm breakfast, like a warm oatmeal, warm porridge, warm millets with milk. Even start with just a warm glass of water. You can then have for lunch, you can have different soups. Try to go and find your seasonal winter vegetables. Whichever country you come from, go to the local market and see what is available. Nature always gives us what we need. So the local vegetables that you will find in winter in your country are the most beneficial for you. They have all the nutrients you need. Try to make soups out of them, make bakes out of them, cook them so they are warm. Add lots of spices. Spices are very important in winter because spices help to improve your digestive fire. In summer, we should avoid spices because they can increase our internal heat. But in winter, you can experiment with different spices. You can also end the day with warm drinks like warm milk with turmeric and spices, herbal teas. Try to understand which herbal tea suits you, suits your needs, and drink a lot of herbal teas. So warm meals will definitely help you. Even fruit, it's very important to eat at least 3 seasonal fruit per day try to eat this fruit for breakfast and cooked. So for example, I'm in France right now and we get apples and pears in winter, and I love to make during winter a morning warm oatmeal where I just put some ghee or butter in a pan. I cook apples or pears, then I mix it with warm milk and oats, add cinnamon, add nutmeg, add any other spices that you like. I add a bit of honey, and this breakfast is so delicious. Okay, so warm meals will really help you. A second tip to improve your immunity or faster your digestion is to make sure that you are eating in certain time window. This is very, very important in winter. I don't like to call it intermittent fasting, even though it's the same principles, because fasting sounds like you are depriving yourself of something. No, here you're just being mindful of your eating window. So if you set a nice morning ritual where you wake up, where you go out, you move, you get any sun energy that you can, and then you eat your breakfast around 8 or 9 a.m., you eat your lunch around 12, 1, and then try to have your dinner by 6 or 7. Try to make the dinner light without grains, maybe just soups, maybe a light protein like fish, maybe a lentil soup to have proteins if you're vegetarian. Keep it light, keep it without grains. By grains, I mean wheat or rice, and try to eat it early. Again, since our digestion is slower in winter, the earlier you eat, the better it is for you to sleep better, because your body will take more time to digest that food and you will be able to wake up earlier with more energy. So again, this is a nice tip to help you wake up early, eat your dinner early, and sleep early. And then finally, when it comes to immunity or taking care of your gut in winter, oils are your best friend. Don't hate oils. Nowadays in the modern world, we are so scared of oil because we think having oils will make us gain weight. That is not true if you have oils in the right way at the right time. And winter is the moment to lubricate and use oils. As I said, winter is the time where the KAPHA, water, and VATA, air energy is high. This means we are super dry. We need a lot of oil. So you can use oil in different ways. You can have oil in your morning routine where you squish oil in your mouth. It's called oil pulling. I will try to do another video on that soon. Or you can use oil to give yourself a self-massage, just rubbing coconut oil, sesame oil, or any other oil of your choice on your palms, using it before and after a warm shower. You can use oil in your food. Make sure you use lots of oil, use ghee, use butter, use olive oil in the warm foods that you're having. You can even put ghee in your coffee in the morning if you're having coffee, because coffee tends to make you drier. If you still need to have a cup of coffee in the morning, try to add a little bit of ghee in it, and that will help to reduce its dry properties. Okay, so we've looked at waking up early, we've looked at having morning and evening rituals to help us wake up early, move. We've looked at eating warm foods, we have looked at adding spices into our diet, we have looked at eating seasonal food, we've looked at using oil. And now let's come to the final part, which is movement. So that's something that all of us tend to go through in winter. We feel lazy, we don't want to move. Especially if you live in a place where there is no sun, you have to move. If you live in a place where you get few hours of sun or few days of sun, or it's sunny even though it's winter, just move in the morning to go and get out of your house, get that morning sunlight on your face, on your body. It's so important, because that will help you again sleep better at night. It will help to make vitamin D, which is so critical for our mental wellness in winter. Now, if you don't have the sun energy to help you, you need to generate this energy yourself. Yes, you have it in you. You have the inner fire. You need to get up even if it's cloudy. Okay, if it's really stormy and raining, maybe you can stay inside, but try to get out, walk, run. If you don't like those activities or cannot do those activities for some reason, at least be indoors and try to do more dynamic forms of yoga, dynamic workouts, strength training workouts. You can watch my playlist on yoga classes, free yoga classes on YouTube to generate more pitta or fire energy. And try to at least dedicate an hour per day to move, to sweat, and to generate that internal fire. There are also breathing exercises to generate internal fire. So you have Kapalbhati. I will try to link that video that I have done, and you can use that technique to generate internal fire. If you cannot physically move or you have certain restrictions, use your breath to generate inner fire. And finally, try to find a fun activity that will help you move and exercise. For example, dance. Dance is amazing for winter. It makes us happy, it helps us sweat, it helps us move, it gives us music, or maybe you can go hiking, you can go out in nature. So find an activity that works for you, that helps you to move, that gives you motivation during winter, that is fun, and that helps you to fuel your inner fire. So those are my top tips for Ayurvedic wellness during the winter season. And I hope this winter season you will be able to fuel your inner fire and you will be able to counter that cold and dry kapha and vata energy. And you also will be able to make the most of that kapha and vata energy, because those energies this winter season also comes with the energy that allows us to reflect, allows us to calm down, allows us to slow down, and allows us to really go inside us to find motivation, our inner fire and drive that we all have within us. So good luck for this winter. Let me know if you like this video, if you have any other tips to add, or if you would like to see any more detailed videos on specific topics. If you also like the cyclic living principles and you're intrigued by what does this cyclic living mean and what is Ayurveda and could Ayurvedic lifestyle work for you, I have also created an online course which is very, very affordable. You can do it from the comfort of your home. Once you register, you have 2.5 hours of videos, supporting material that you can watch and learn anytime whenever you have time. I will link my course below and hope you will find it useful. Take care, stay healthy.